All right. Our next question comes to us from Chase in St. Johnsbury. He asks, what action will you take regarding regulations on fuel and energy? And suggested, do we need to reconsider things like adjusting fuel standards? So, Gerald, we'll start with you.
Sure. So I've also spoken right from the beginning. I think when I talk about abiding by the Constitution, we've had unconstitutional mandates and initiatives and even executive orders. Number one being day one of President Biden, where he started his crusade to kill the oil and gas industry. That would be one of my top jobs, would be to somehow reverse that or take that to court or take some other action to reverse that. That's inflicting unnecessarily pain for all Americans as we see the gas prices go to $4, $5, $6, $7 a gallon, and it spiked up to $6.89 for home heating oil. I also look at talk about the new Green Deal. I would also have called for a complete reevaluation of that, because it's, as I described the Global Warming Solutions Act, it's Swiss cheese. It's full of holes. And, we don't have the resources. We don't have an implementation plan. We've started, talking about it with some acts related to the infrastructure. But getting back to the resources, you probably just saw, we have Ford aligning with China and GM aligning with Korea just recently to get the resources that the United States does not have, lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper, to make that next step into future energy. So we've got to have a plan for that. And then most importantly, we've got to get buy-in from the American people. So we can't just, like the president's trying to do, back into the new Green Deal. We're not ready for it, and it's part of the economic hardship we're all experiencing.
Thanks. Myers Mermel.
Yes, I think the issue on energy is one that really hits Vermonters particularly hard, both with gasoline and with heating fuel. Of course, President Biden, when he took office, announced that he wanted to end fossil fuel, and he enacted moratoriums in drilling in Alaska, and also enacted a social cost of carbon tax, and made the EPA more stringent on car standards. And it's the regulations that we don't see that are really causing the prices of crude oil to rise, which then is reflected in gasoline prices. You may have noticed that gasoline dropped down maybe 40 to 50 cents over the past 2 months. That's because of the fist bump deal with the Saudi Arabian prince, where they made a deal that Saudi Arabia and OPEC Plus would supply us with 50% more crude oil in July and August. Now that deal won't continue, but I think that lays a path forward for creative Republicans like myself to, once in the Senate, to really move around the federal government and work with other states like Pennsylvania, which has 300 years of natural gas supply under its soil, also with Alaska, with these western states, and like you see Texas doing with the border, taking more authority back to the states. So what I'd like to do is work with other senators in Republican states to help them loosen up their energy restrictions so that we can get more supply. I don't think we can depend on the administration to help us produce energy independence, and I want to see the Republican Senate do that itself.
Good.